Okay, cousin, so do you ever feel like unsilent night, unholy night, all hope is lost, nothing is bright, in the words of the famous Christmas tune? Well, to subvert it in a dark and twisted way. Mm-hmm. I do. I do. And that's why in this video, as somebody who's worked through the feelings of despair and disappointment a many a time, we're going to talk about the gift of disappointment and despair, hold some space for it, because it is a symptom of living boldly, of quote unquote playing full out, of loving deeply, of caring. And those are all brave and audacious things that our nonchalant culture would like us to think are overrated, when in fact, they are essential to getting all you can from this human experience. However, if you're like me, you weren't given a lot of tools to see the gift of despair, disappointment for the gifts that they are. So as to yank them by the reins and be like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. We're going to explain it, hold space, and leave you a little bit more encouraged to keep doing this human thing. And if you didn't check out the other video I made on comparison culture and chronic unfairness syndrome, you should check that out at some point because it's a good ally to this video over on the YouTubes. Welcome, I'm Travis. Okay, so first off, despair and disappointment, what are they? What are they? In human terms, right? In my experience, disappointment, is the grief connected to unmet expectations. I thought this would go X way, and it went Y way. Right, row. I thought that I would achieve this outcome if I exerted this effort, and I did not. I thought that if I was my kindest, most loving self, that this person would appreciate it and see the treasure of a human that I was to them. And they didn't. They squandered you. They were careless with you, your energy, your effort, all of it. Okay? Moving forward. Now we have a more sinister neighbor and called despair. And we don't really have much language for this. Viktor Frankl talks about in Man's Search for Meaning a little bit. Navigating Holocaust and whatnot. You have a lot of slavery survivors and whatnot, and black people and African American tradition who talk about the despair, right? The Negro spiritual. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. It's hinting at it, right? You have the Bible that talks about how hope deferred makes the heart grow sick, right? Despair, in a way, it feels like a sickness. It really does. Because in my experience, despair is it's like a metastatic disappointment. It's an all-consuming dread that, this has been bad for so long, or this is so heinous and horrible, I don't see a way forward. I don't. And I've had many experiences in my life where I felt that. If I'm being honest, I have those moments even still, even though I've made a lot of progress from where I started. I have those moments where I'm like, I don't see a way forward. Even though I know I have agency, I know I have efficacy, I don't quite see a way forward. The pain is just too much. And that's a byproduct also of being a sensitive person. That's also a byproduct of being a sort of person who cares and tries. So, let me give you an example. One of my experiences with despair would be when I moved to New York City, relationship ended, right? Got laid off, had to search for new housing with what money due to said unemployment. And I was just all around questioning myself, questioning my value, had a really hard time finding my footing at first, felt deeply alone, felt surrounded by people who seemed to be skating ahead in life. And here I am, entering into my late 20s with a lot of perceived failures, you know? And so I was like, okay, WTF. Come on, God. Come on, universe. Right. And so I climbed my way out of that, but it was really hard. Really hard. And life got better. And even still, I have moments now where I'm making content and hosting group experiences for folks to learn and transform and heal and grow online right? I'm doing artistry full time, and I still have experiences where, wow, the disappointment of all these no's, the disappointment of, wow, this is hard. Wow, the gatekeepers don't seem to quite acknowledge this in the way I'd hope them to, whatever. Like, that's still real. Even as I progress to reach millions of people online, all that, like, there's still waves of prolonged disappointment that turn into despair here and there, everywhere, in the words of the Beatles. It's a beautiful song. So, why is it a gift? Why is it a gift that you would despair? Why is it a gift that you would experience disappointment? Because on some level, it means that you tried. It means that you cared. It means that you loved. It means that you are on the path. It does. It genuinely means you are on the path. I think that the mistake I made before I realized the gift of disappointment, as an indicator of courage, the mistake I made before I realized it was a gift was to shame myself and to feel, oh, I'm doing something wrong because I feel this despair connected to not meeting these expectations. Because if I don't reach these expectations or I don't reach this goal, then my failure is evidence to my insecurities that I should just stop trying altogether. We can create that story for ourselves, right? When we fail. This failure is evidence my insecurities need to stop trying. And it's like, oh, no, we aren't going to. No, there's a false story. We are calling BS on it. Okay? We talk about more of this stuff on Patreon. We have a book club over there too. You might want to check it out. So, the gift, the gift, the gift, the gift. Oh, when I started to shift into realizing that disappointment feels similar to rejection. Hurts, right? It's like, I wanted this, and I'm creating a story of undeservingness as a result of this, right? And something in me shifted when I realized that, oh, wait a minute. I can see disappointment and the bigger bedfellow of despair as weirdly a present. The wrapping paper is pain, right? The wrapping paper is dismay. But if I can just get past that wrapping paper, that thorny, oh, nuts, wrapping paper, I can get to this beautiful gift inside of the package. And that gift could look like new perspective. That gift could look like a deeper will to live. That gift could look like inspiration to keep going. That gift could look like whatever you need. I'm not here to tell you what that gift could look like. You know what I'm saying? But I just realized, oh my gosh, disappointment and despair are truly gifts. Not because we're toxic positivitying our way through it all. No, we don't do that around here. They're gifts, okay? Because, I hope you're with me. Let me know down in the comments what's hitting for you, right? They're gifts because once we get past the outer layer, that thick veneer of pain connected to disappointment and despair, right? Maybe we even move our way through the grief cycles, right? There are waves of grief, right? Where there's denial, there is depression, there's bargaining, there's anger, there is acceptance, right? The 5 stages of grief, right? Once we get past all that, because there are layers of it, right? We work our way through it, and oh my gosh, there's lessons. And one of my biggest ahas is, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't give up when I was walking through hell. Even though I wanted to, right? Because the way I'm able to encourage others and also relate to others and speak to things in an incisive, distinct, and almost like a tee way, right? We can laugh our way, we can key our way through what we're going through. You know what I mean? The way I'm able to do that as a result of what I went through far exceeds and supersedes what I would be able to do had I not been through much in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's not to be like, oh my gosh, you're privileged because you went through hard things, but in a way, you are. I believe in trauma privilege. Not to toxic positivity our way through it all, but because it happened. And because it happened, hopefully you can do some therapy or healing as well. But once you do that, all you get to make of what happened is the story you connect to it. You know what I'm saying? And so why not put some sort of empowering twist on what happened as you've healed through it so that you can grab your experience by the reins and be like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm going to be the master of this fate. You know what I'm saying? What's your experience with this down below? Let me know what you're navigating. Let's encourage each other down in the comments, talking about the gift of despair. Also, if this resonates with you and you want more like-minded community, I'm on a mission, low-key, high-key, to encourage more like-minded, thoughtful, sensitive humans to stand in their power in work, love, and life. Period. And you can join the Patreon to tap into book club and community around that to support my work. Yeah, I'd love to connect more. We'll talk soon, you cousins. Bye-bye.